They regretted everything. No inheritance for you. He was hooked up to machines, barely breathing. And our children, nowhere. Not even a phone call. That night, as I sat alone holding his hand, I made a decision one that would make them regret their selfishness for the rest of their lives. If you've ever been made to feel like you don't matter, especially by your own family, then this story will hit you hard. TAP, like, subscribe, and buckle in, because what started as heartbreak ended with poetic justice. Carlton and I had been married for 47 years, nearly 5 decades of partnership through bankruptcies, cancer scares, and raising 2 children we poured everything into, Mark and Sandra. Carlton worked 60-hour weeks as an electrician to keep the lights on. I took care of the home and eventually went back to work part-time so we could afford to send both our kids to college. We lived modestly, never splurging just so they could have better lives. And they did. Mark became a lawyer. Sandra started her own business. They flew business class, vacationed in Bali, posted Instagram stories from yachts. But somehow, they always forgot to visit. When Carlton fell ill, it started slowly. A misstep here. A forgotten name there. The diagnosis came like a punch to the chest. Late-stage cancer. We were told we had months, which really meant weeks. I called Mark, left a voicemail. No response. Sandra texted, "Tell him I said hi. I'm really slammed right now." That was it. That was their reaction to the man who once sold his truck to pay for Mark's first car. The last week of Carlton's life, I slept on a chair next to his hospital bed. I read him our old love letters, played his favorite music on a little speaker, held his hand when he cried, and prayed with him when the fear crept in. But Mark and Sandra, not a visit, not a call. The nurses noticed. One of them, a young man named Devin, sat with me one evening and said, "You're stronger than most. People don't always show up like you have." I broke down in tears. Not because of the compliment, but because in that moment, I realized the brutal truth. Our children didn't care. Not anymore. On the morning Carlton passed, the sky was gray. I remember the way his chest slowly stopped rising. I held onto him long after he was gone. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat in silence and I started thinking. 2 days later, Mark finally called. "Hey Mom, I heard Dad. Passed. Sorry I couldn't be there. Big case at work. When's the will stuff happening?" That was his first question. Sandra sent flowers. A generic bouquet from an assistant, probably. No card, no call. I didn't answer either of them. Instead, I called our lawyer. Carlton and I had drawn up our wills years ago, and I had the right to amend mine. And oh, I did. Every penny of my share.